So let's move on now to a very different business at a very different stage, but still fantastic business. So Richard Woods, your turn, Richard.
Hi there. Well, what an inspirational speech. Thank you, Don. Quite difficult to follow. I'll try and keep the energy going. I'm probably a lot more similar to people in the audience than the other people up on the stage. I was actually sat there myself very recently. I've been to most of these seminars. I was lucky enough to win the prize draw at the first one I came to, so it's another good incentive to fill in your feedback forms. I believe, is it an iPod Nano that's on offer tonight? So definitely do that. Also lucky enough to come and see Anita Roddick give a fantastic speech here, and then as a result of that, got chatting to her afterwards and was able to get a one-on-one session with her to really talk about our business. So yeah, we've had some fantastic help from the British Library, and I'd strongly recommend you to get involved as much as possible. So I'm one of the co-founders of DIY Kyoto. We're a young business. You've possibly heard of us, but probably haven't. For a company our size, we have had a fantastic amount of media coverage. We were in the Times on Saturday, for example. And it's basically for one product that we've launched, which, as Matthew mentioned, is called wattson. So what's unique about wattson is it's a product that shows how much energy your house is using in real time and makes that as simple and easy to use as possible. So whenever you turn anything on or off, you immediately see how much it's costing you. And you also see how much it's affecting your average usage by. So wattson learns how much energy you normally use. And if you're using less than normal, it glows blue. If you're using a normal level, it glows half red, half blue. And if you're using more than you normally do, it starts glowing bright red. So anytime it's glowing bright red, you know you've got something left on somewhere. So a very simple concept, but the simplicity of that is really its power. And we've seen some massive savings in people's energy bills and their environmental impacts once they've got wattson at home and they start listening to the advice it gives. So yeah, that's what we do. I'll give you a quick introduction to our story, and then explain where we are now and why we're at this Going Global event. Because although we are a small company, we are actually not only thinking in those terms, but actually beginning to make that happen. Okay, so that's the three of us, the three co-founders. That's myself on the left. As you can see, it was a little bit of an old photo, and the stress has taken its toll on me of running a business. That's John in the middle and Greta on the right. So we've each got very different skill sets, and you might be surprised to hear we set the business up directly out of art college. So we're not traditional entrepreneurs, haven't been through business school or anything like that. My background before art college was in mechanical engineering, manufacturing management. John's was in electronic engineering, and Greta's was in visual communication and media and branding. So we had three very different but complementary skill sets, but we all met when we went to the Royal College of Art, and that's where we developed our focus on design and the absolute importance of that in what we do and why people will respond to our products. And wattson was actually my MA project. I spent a year working on it at college, and then was lucky enough to be able to turn it into my business and, well, effectively my life. Actually, I've been doing it for 6 years now, pretty much non-stop. Not that it's getting boring, it's getting more and more interesting. So to explain the name, we're DIY Kyoto. You probably figured it out. DIY is in do-it-yourself, and Kyoto is in the Kyoto Protocol. So we got fed up with governments taking the time and not really getting much done, so we thought we'd create tools that would inspire and enable people to meet the Kyoto Protocol at a personal level. As it says here. Okay. So our philosophy, we try and do that by not preaching. We don't want to induce guilt in people. What we try and do is provide people with a way to feel positive about what they do, so they can feel good about saving energy and saving money. So the way wattson reacts is all about creating a reward and a good feeling for doing something positive, rather than making you think, oh God, I'm a terrible human being, I'm destroying the world. And so, yeah, wattson's our first product, but it's not going to be our last. And so at the moment, it's all about creating awareness, but in the future, we're going to move into creating products that actually enable people to save energy, and also move into loads of different fields like transport, enabling people to reduce their carbon output in everything they do. But we're about making things relevant and exciting as well. So wattson is hopefully a product that inspires people visually. So yeah, electricity shows how much power you're using, and this is wattson. So you can see in the top right image, there's some numbers on the top, and that is pounds per year. So that figure changes whenever you turn anything on or off. It shows you how much it would cost if you left everything in your house the same for one whole year. So say turning on a 100 watt light bulb at typical prices would add about £120 a year to that. Turning on a kettle would add about £3,000 a year to that. So because it's done over the whole of a year, you get some very dramatic headline figures which tend to scare people into action a little bit more than if we showed it in pence per hour or something like that. You can also see the colours glowing out at the bottom of it. So those, yeah, like I mentioned, blue is good. Whenever it's blue, you're saving money, basically, and then that is the reward you get for reducing your power. So yeah, I mentioned the design philosophy. That's really, really strong in what we do. We want people to see this product and want to have one, and then kind of ask what it is once they've already decided they want one. So when we first launched it, we did have people coming up to us saying, "I love your clock," and also you'll see the light bulb in the picture. That's to give it a sense of scale. We've also had a lot of people saying, "Where can I buy your coffee table?" So the little things that we've slowly learned over time. Incredibly simple to install. It takes about 10 seconds. You just need to find the two wires that run between your electricity meter and your fuse box and snap a sensor around that, which I have right here as if by magic. So you just open this up and put it around one of the cables, and that's done. Then this box can read how much power is going through it and then sends the information by radio. So Watson, which I've got right here, is completely wireless. So it could be anywhere in your house. When people first get it, they tend to get very excited and run around the house and turn everything on and off and see how high they can get it, and then see how low they can get it, and just find out what everything's costing them. So yeah, it's pounds per year, but also a little bit of, well, simple technology, but a little bit of magic is a tilt switch. So you change the mode just by tilting it, you show pounds or watts, and then yeah, you can see, well, it's pretty bright light, but a deep blue shows that we're using much less than normal, because obviously it's not connected to anything at the moment. Okay, next one. So that's Watson 01. So that's quite a new product, but we started off with the limited edition. So when we first went public in 2006, this is the product that we had that we were selling to people, and this is the one that generated all the press that really got us where we are now. So this was handmade in very limited numbers. So we did start off on a real budget. Our first funding was a £35,000 grant from Nesta, and that enabled us to devote 9 months of our lives to going full time on this and to develop the first prototypes. And these are some of the first press images that we used. And we were very, very lucky with getting, 2 minutes to go, okay, I'll run through it very quickly, with getting some fantastic press coverage. We had a feature in the British Airways In-Flight magazine, which led directly to investment board executives reading that as they're flying over the Atlantic, getting excited and calling up and giving us their cash, which is a great way of doing it if you can get that to happen. And yeah, Martha Lane Fox was one of our first investors actually, so that was a nice link. But yeah, we've now gone through the limited edition. We're into mass production. So the reason we're at this global event tonight is twofold. We're making these products. We started making them in the UK, but we've now set up a full production line in China and having them produced over there. I've spent a lot of time over there setting up the line and just making sure that the workers are in pretty good conditions, and we're very happy with the quality of life they've got over there. But also we're now selling around the world as well. So within the last 3 months, we've got our first distributor overseas, which was in Ireland, not particularly adventurous, but we've now gone to Australia. We've got an exclusive distributor over there, and Singapore. And we're in discussions with some of the big players in America. A little bit scary, kind of companies that could eat us alive, but you know, they've come to us, so we're talking to them and seeing where it goes. So I guess I'll leave it there, and then any questions that arise, I'll be happy to speak to you later on. Thank you.
Well done.